In 2003, Legacy Program Technical Support interns created the first Legacy Program website, which was hosted by the University of Cincinnati. Since moving our operations to the cloud in 2006, Legacy Program Technical Support interns have continued to donate their time to redesigning, redeveloping, and maintaining the Legacy Network websites. In 2012, Legacy Program Technical Assistance Services, with funding from the LPI Grant Program and in partnership with the Key West Legacy Project, the Mel Fisher Maritime Museum, and the Monroe County, Florida Archives, produced a Legacy Program documentary entitled Truth versus Reality in Antebellum Key West. In 2011, Legacy Program Technical Assistance Services was contracted by the National Park Service and the Claremont County CVB to produce a digital video recording of the proceedings of the 2011 Annual Conference of the National Park Service NTF program held in Batavia, Ohio. From 2009 to 2010, Legacy Program Technical Assistance Services was contracted by the United Church of Christ Archives to digitize 500 hours of audio cassette recordings housed in the United Church of Christ Archives, containing 50 years of sermons, church meetings, and oral history interviews. In 2008, Legacy Program Technical Assistance Services was contracted by the United Church of Christ Archives to transcribe the 150 hours of video recorded interviews that comprised the United Church of Christ 50th Anniversary Oral History Project collection. In 2007, Legacy Program Technical Assistance Services was contracted by the United Church of Christ Archives to coordinate all stages of producing digital audio recordings of oral history interviews and the collection of related images and documents as part of the United Church of Christ 50th Anniversary Oral History Project. In 2004, Legacy Program Technical Assistance Services was contracted by the National Park Service and the University of Miami to produce a digital audio recording of the proceedings of the 2004 Annual Conference of the National Park Service NTF program held in Miami, Florida. In 2004, Legacy Program Technical Assistance Services was contracted by the Association of Theological Schools, ATS, to transcribe 70 hours of audio-recorded confidential interviews with the female administrators of ATS-affiliated graduate programs throughout the United States and Canada. In 2004, Legacy Program Technical Assistance Services was contracted by the Department of Health and the CDC to transcribe the 100 hours of audio-recorded confidential interviews that comprised the RARE Research Project. In 2003, the African American Heritage Project established the Legacy Project Training and Assistance Program and the Legacy Project Initiative in partnership with the University of Cincinnati Raymond Walters College. In 2002, the African American Heritage Project was contracted by the town of Summerton, South Carolina, and the Clareton County, South Carolina School District 1 to provide guidance in the establishment of the Summerton Revitalization Corporation and in the fundraising and event planning for the Briggs V. Elliott 50th Anniversary event. In 2002, the African American Heritage Project was contracted by the Brown v. Board 50th Anniversary Presidential Commission and the National Park Service to produce a digital transcription of 200 hours of video-recorded oral history interviews. The transcription included a keyword glossary for each interview and an index for the collection. In 2001, the African American Heritage Project was contracted by the Brown v. Board 50th Anniversary Presidential Commission and the National Park Service to coordinate all stages of production of a collection of video-recorded oral history interviews and the collection of related images and documents that required a historian, videographer, and an interviewer traveling through 16 states over a 6-month period. In 2001, The African American Heritage Project was contracted by the Brown v. Board 50th Anniversary Presidential Commission to develop a plan for identifying and locating living Brown v. Board stakeholders, conducting videotape Brown v. Board oral history interviews, collecting related images and documents. In 1999, the African American Heritage Project, with the assistance of the NPS National Register of Historic Places program and the Library of Congress Map Department, conducted a 3-day workshop at the National Archives in College Park, Maryland, focusing on Underground Railroad legacy research protocols and methodologies developed by the African American Heritage Project that had proven successful where other approaches had failed. Note that in 1999, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration of the Department of Health and Human Services sponsored a study entitled Understanding Substance Abuse Prevention Towards the 21st Century that specifically mentions the role of the African American Heritage Project in making the Greater Alliance of Prevention Systems program one of the 8 model drug prevention programs of the 20th century. In the fall, the African American Heritage Project Director was again called upon by the task force to assist in developing a curriculum targeting at-risk youth in the sections of Austin, Lawndale, and Garfield neighborhoods on the far west side of Chicago, where residents of African American, Mexican, and Puerto Rican descent were each concentrated. Some months later, the African American Heritage Project Director was again called upon by the Illinois State Task Force to assist in developing a curriculum for the Greater Alliance of Prevention Systems proposal, targeting sections of the Austin, Lawndale, and Garfield neighborhoods on the far west side of Chicago, where residents of African American, Mexican, and Puerto Rican descent were each concentrated. In 1986, the African American Heritage Project Director served as a consultant to an Illinois State Task Force that included Illinois State Representative Carol Mosley Braun, representatives of the Bobby E. Wright Comprehensive Community Mental Health Center, and the Illinois Department of Health and Human Services Division of Alcohol and Substance Abuse, which at the time was drafting a Greater Alliance of Prevention Systems proposal in response to an RFP from the Office of Substance Abuse Prevention of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. In 1986, the African American Heritage Project organized and coordinated the first annual citywide Black History Month celebration on behalf of the Chicago Metropolitan Housing Authority, the Office of Mayor Harold Washington, Chicago Public Schools, and Operation Push. From 1984 to 1986, the African American Heritage Project worked through the Chicago Office of Mayor Harold Washington with anti-gang initiatives at a time when the sale of crack cocaine, easy access to automatic weapons, and the disintegration of gang structure, protocols, and truces were making a bad situation worse. With the establishment of its Speakers Bureau in 1979, the African American Heritage Project began receiving regular and repeated requests from colleges and universities for speakers, guest lecturers, and cultural presentations. Between 1976 and 1979, the African American Heritage Project provided cultural enrichment student assembly presentations and after-school activities, as well as teacher in-service training for over 250 schools in 14 of Cuyahoga County, Ohio's school systems. During the summer of 1976, 250 fifth graders from the East Cleveland City School District were bused to Cleveland State for 5 weeks of full-length school days through Title I funding of a program developed by the African American Heritage Project. From 1975 to 1979, the African American Heritage Project managed its Genealogy Research Center, located at the Cleveland State University Library, which in part served as a satellite of the National Archives in Fort Worth, Texas.